They say time reveals the true nature of a man, but in the case of David J. Chap, also known as Nutty Disco Dave, time has simply amplified his madness. My first encounter with Nutty wasn't by invitation. It was around 2010, and my only crime was being friends with Bill. That alone painted a target on my back for this obsessive little man and his endless sock accounts. I'd done nothing to him. Yet from the shadows of his keyboard he lurked and struck, like some rejected Scooby-Doo villain who swapped his mask for a grudge and his flashlight for a keyboard. And for a while, I admit, he was good at it. Trolls always are, until they get a taste of their own medicine. The moment I gave Nutty the same treatment he dished out, he flipped. Suddenly, I was the villain in his deranged bedtime story. He wept, howled, and ran around the internet accusing me of everything but the JFK assassination. Typical cowardice. No spine, just spaghetti. When I finally launched my Uncle Sam channel and laid things out with clarity, Nutty's next move was as predictable as it was pathetic. False flags, DMCA abuse, and dumping ancient irrelevant archive footage like a bitter ex who still has your socks. Content that had nothing to do with him. Because, let's face it, original thought isn't Nutty's strong suit. He survives on grudges, not creativity. But it didn't end there. No, that would be too sane. Instead, Nutty went down the sewer pipe of accusation, claiming I peddled porn to children. Why? Because Rob, yes, the same Rob Nutty calls untrustworthy and a disgrace to the legal profession, once mentioned a domain name that sounded adult. This is the same Nutty who'll condemn Rob in one breath and quote him like scripture in the next. The hypocrisy isn't just thick, it's toxic. And speaking of twisted logic, Nutty also took issue with the fact that I sent Bill a panda suit for handing out gospel tracts to children, no less. In Nutty's warped mind, that was somehow grooming behaviour. I repeat, a panda suit for evangelism became, in his head, a red flag for paedophilia. Most people would see that as community outreach. Nutty sees it as a crime scene. That says more about him than anyone else. And let's not forget his sidekick Johnny Ryan, the flower shop fraud turned keyboard barrister, who keeps threatening lawsuits against half the planet, including Alphabet Inc. Yes, really, it's a circus act at this point. Nutty cries ghost, Johnny Ryan files imaginary motions, and Rob eats his own credibility. So, here we are, over a decade later, still witnessing Nutty hurling dung at Christians who dared speak truth, particularly outspoken ones like me and Bill. What is it about truth that makes this man unravel like a cheap disco ball in a thunderstorm? It's simple. Conviction. The light exposes his darkness, and instead of repenting, he hides behind legal threats, ghost stories, and false witness. He hates correction, he hates rebuke, and above all, he hates being reminded that he was the one who started all this. But I've done my part. I've warmed the flock. The rest, that's between Nutty and the God he mocks while pretending to quote. To let this stand as both testimony and satire, a reminder that while fools like Nutty can dance in the dark, they'll never outshine the truth.